Self-managed super fund is the most powerful trust in Australia. With SMSF, you can literally do everything. You can buy property, you can gear, you get a loan to buy, property. You can have lots of sorts of investments, shares, crypto, everything.
Because most people think that, their will cover off on their assets inside a super, but it doesn't. It's a little bit of a misconception almost, isn't it?
Because this one can override your will.
A lot of SMSF providers, they have to pay for the fund up front, so it's an out-of-pocket expense that the client needs to pay for. With Blue Chip, we carry that risk, so we set up the fund. Once the client fills out the application form, we actually fund the setup process ourselves, and we fund that all the way through to the very end of the process.
You guys don't charge up front? Oh no, because we believe in our process, so if we don't do well, we don't get paid.
Welcome to SMSF Insider, where we help busy professionals to gain financial independence using an SMSF. Hi, I'm Troy, founder of Blue Chip SMSF Services. And over the last 20 years, I've helped thousands of Aussies manage the complexities of self-managed super funds. And in this podcast, I'll answer your questions, break down the myths, so you can take charge of your financial freedom. Let's get into it. Just a quick disclaimer and just a reminder that this is not personal advice. So make sure you speak with a licensed advisor before making any investment decision. Today we have Jefferson Rossetti, who is the COO or Chief Operating Officer for Blue Chip. Jeff, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me here.
Jeff, you've been with Blue Chip now for 7 years.
Yeah, around 7 years. Yes.
It feels like about 20.
Yeah, I feel like 20 sometimes.
You were born and raised in Brazil.
Yes, I was born in Brazil, and then I came to Australia to improve my English. I used to work in the bank sector in Brazil. We're pretty much what we do there, like kind of similar what I used to do actually. Lending and also financial planning at the same time, just same, position. And over here in Australia, everything's separated. Like financial planners do one thing, and then brokers, they do the lending stuff. Yeah. I have around 8 years of experience combined. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was 8 years in Brazil.
In Brazil, in the banking sector.
Yep, and then you've had another 7 years here in Australia.
Yeah, that's right. In the SMSF, like space financial planning, pretty much SMSF space. Yeah.
Yeah. So you've had about 15 years experience in the
combined,
financial services.
Yeah.
And your role at Blue Chip has been obviously, your role is a COO, you're Chief Operating Officer. Yeah. You are responsible for the running of the business, the systems, the processes.
Everything, yeah.
And you do obviously an amazing job. And I think...
Thank you very much.
I think all of those systems and processes you put in place is probably why, helps us with streamlining the business. And you've done such an incredible job. Where does that all come from with regards to the detail? And because I think when you first applied for the job, I sent you a questionnaire, which for me to try and understand your personality. And one of the questions was around attention to detail. And it came back, your personality type came back that you weren't really someone that had attention to detail, which was a concern for me. It turns out that it's quite the opposite. Your attention to detail is off the charts, and which was great because that's what I was looking for. But I don't know whether you lied to me on the on the questionnaire, but it was quite the opposite. Your attention to detail and the systems and processes that you put in place are incredible. But I know your family back in Brazil, you guys ran businesses back there.
Yep.
So you were exposed to business from a young age. Do you think that has helped you with regards to what you're doing at the moment and the system processes and things you put in place? You think that's has sort of helped with regards to now moving out later in life with your position at the moment? And do you think that has having that exposure from a young age, do you think that was
this was definitely like a good help because, work for mom and dad was really, I would say, a good experience. Mom is really tough in a good way, very great businesswoman. And then we have to do everything, sell, managing, see the compliance, everything in this, when you run a business, you have to do literally everything. So, and they brought this with me in the bank as well, because it's all about compliance. Day in, day out. So I brought this with me as well in Australia. So and also figured out okay, I can offer the best product or sales or whatever. If you don't know the process, if you don't know the product, like you're gonna fail. You know what I mean? So that's why this my process came, you know, came through. So I was like, okay, I need to develop like a plan, a checklist. I need to understand the process because when I'm going to hand it over, for example, for my colleague, if you don't have any process in place, it's going to be a fiasco. Like it's going to be, okay, it's not happening. There's no contact. You know what I mean? Like I don't want the client going back to me like, hey, Jeff, you know, what is my services? What's my product or whatever? So that's why I built in and I'm being in as well, work on myself to always improve my process, improve myself.
Yeah.
That's why I think it's come from.
Yeah, I noticed that's a big thing for you. I know you're always looking for self-improvement, and it's a big, it's something that doesn't go unnoticed. And do you think I know you've got an MBA, Masters in
Back home,
in business background. Do you think that sort of helped? Do you think that sort of helped you?
Helped a lot.
And served you well in.
Definitely helps a lot, because for instance, to have this qualification, you need to be in a management, role, for example. Otherwise, it's going to be a waste of money. If you're like just studying, and not have any, business experience or, even not working. So there's going to be a waste of time. But I was already working also in a management position back home. So it really helped me a lot because I had the best teachers, like the best teachers in the country, especially in São Paulo. So I come from São Paulo state, not the city, but my city was pretty close to the main capital. So we was surrounded, like it's very famous from a lot of business. So therefore I was dealing with my teachers. They're real deal, like they're real business owners. So I have a lot of like good insights from them, knowledge is everything, like this, secret, trades, secrets as well, like everything. So it was really good. When I started, I didn't know much about SMSF, probably nothing. So, and then everything was a challenge for me. And then also for the, normal mom and dad, Aussie mom and dads here in Australia, like it is a very overwhelming process. What we're trying to do right now is to make the complexity like in an easy process, in a smoothly streamlined process. So to make, SMSF is so hard to do it. I tried once, whatever. Now we just took this challenge and we made this better. So that was my challenge. Okay, this is a really big challenge in the whole process, dealing with team, everything. So you need to have a passion for that because it's very challenging. It's not an easy task.
Yeah.
So you really need to team up. You need to bring everyone on board, like with passion, because you kind of being the leader. So if you don't have the passion, people don't really gonna buy. They're gonna really follow you. So then things starting to succumb. You know what I mean? Things starting to not going well. That's my opinion.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. I think you definitely, with the passion that you bring to the team and the leadership that you bring is second to none. So it's that's really cool.
That's awesome.
What is it about financial services? I know when you first started with Blue Chip 7 years ago, you came from a banking background, financial sector in Brazil, and you were looking for, you wanted to come back into the financial markets here in Australia. What is it about the financial services sector that that draws you towards being in financial services opposed to some of the other industries?
Okay, that's good. I always have a passion for finance and investing. So when I was little, I wanted to buy these little scooters or moped, and then I was starting to save and see the compounding. Oh, if I put some money there and more money, my money's growing. So that's how we started when I was little. And then I worked in the bank as well because always been fascinated for investments, how to make more money, how to invest in this managed fund or, shares, everything. That's my real passion. And then when it came to Australia, I wanted to do, the same trade I used to do back home. Of course, took some years to sort of improve my English, learn some English, improve my English, get my visa sorted, everything. And then I started to study. I started to study diploma in financial planning because that was the only course which put me in, my foot in this industry in Australia. And then that's how I started. I did a unpaid internship with another financial planning, and that was actually the same guy actually recommend to you. And then that's how we started. And then SMSF was a big challenge. Like, hey, SMSF is Settlement Super Fund is like the most powerful trust in Australia. So with SMSF, you can literally do everything. So it's actually really aligned with my passion. So with SMSF, you can buy property, you can gear, you get, a loan to buy, property. You can have lots of sorts of investments, shares, crypto, everything. So that's okay. That's why I felt like, I'm in the right, place here. So I want to really know, this. I want to master in the SMSF space because there's a lot of opportunity in Australia for us and for our clients as well. So that's why I started. That's how pretty much I started. And then of course, SMSF is let's say, is a vehicle to get you there, and then gives more, of course, freedom to choose what. That's really good. Back home, we don't have such a thing. So over here, you have a freedom to buy almost anything. Of course, as far as is under the CZAC and your SMSF did. Yeah. So it's pretty flexible vehicle as well, and also the best tax environment as well. I used to make fun with my friends. They always trying to get the best investment. Where I'm gonna invest? What's gonna be? Should I go to Dubai? All these headaches, guys. We have the best tax friendly system in Australia, which is your superannuation, or you can go for SMSF if you want to buy different asset classes, and then don't need to waste time and money, go to any dodgy structures elsewhere. So just keep simple, keep everything in Australia. We still have the best system in place. I know about the Division 296, but it's not yet law. They might change. We never know.
Yeah.
So
it's a good point. Yeah, I guess you talk about some of these tax-friendly locations like Dubai and whatnot. People are looking to establish in some of these other countries, but we do have a we do have a Insider Super is one of the most tax-friendly environments you can possibly find. I mean, 15% is the maximum rate, up to 3 million, and then people don't have to, I guess.
Really, and go to you're gonna pay. I want to pay less tax. You may. Do you have a enormous amount of wealth to justify to go to another country, learn another taxation system, laws, everything? What about the Division 296? Do you have right now 3 million? So don't worry. Just let's focus one thing at a time. Baby steps. Get to the first 3 million. But in the future they might change. They might they might change the law again and get this taxation up to 10 million, for instance. I don't know. Because 3 million now, sounds a lot, but in 10 years' time, maybe not, because of the inflation component.
Yeah. Well, they're talking about, I think the bill, the 296, bill is, they're talking about indexing it now. So, which is good. Yeah. Yeah. Where do you see, I guess, I mean, I know when we hire our team, we've got an incredible team. And I feel blessed that we've got such an amazing team.
Yeah, we have a great team. Yeah.
And the culture, and I think with our hiring process, it's sort of I don't know. We've done something right. I think with our hiring process, we have an incredible team with an amazing culture, which you've been instrumental with helping out with creating that process.
The process,
and bringing new team members on.
So I think the secret, we have a mission. We want to be the best, the most disruptive SMSF in the country. That comes down to a proper team, intellectual capital. What that means, if you don't have a purpose in your business, in life, everything is going to fade away. Yeah. So what we do in the very first day when we interview our new staff, interns, we share our vision, we share our mission to them, our passion as well, and then we invite them to come along to be part of this project. So I think that's the key element. That's the difference. And then they're part of something. Yeah. I'm part of something special. Yeah. We're getting that. I think that's the secret. Just being normal, have a normal human conversation, chat, during the process, during the interview process. And hey, everything's fine. Don't be nervous, we are human, we have this human environment. You're not another number. Yeah. So I think that makes a lot of change,
There's something in that process, I think, when they're coming on and you're talking to them and they can feel the passion that's coming through about, we're all passionate about what we do.
We're growing, we're going to grow more. And then we love what we do. We love like to face any challenge, okay, how we can do better.
Yeah.
If you have a like problem now, okay, how we can, solve this issue, how we can do better, how we can prevent this one, how we can always improve, how we can improve every single day. Yeah. Why not? So, and also we're very flexible. We really care about all this stuff. So how are you today? We check on them. So we really care about them. So I think this is the secret as well. Like, it's showing them like we have a big project.
Yep.
And then they're going to be part of this,
Yep.
this ongoing, an awesome project.
Yeah.
Which,
No, I think it really rings through with the staff. They really feel like they're part of something. And
and then we're not like back in the days when we started, like no training, nothing. Like we're different. Like you're going to have a training. You probably don't know anything about the resume because you're still fresh. You just graduated now, for example. And then I think we show them like we're very, passionate as well, but also we have a process in place and training in place as well. So what I'm trying to say, when they start like, they're going to be surrounded by professionals, people which have the same passion.
Yep.
They're willing to teach you. I think that's the key, element as well. Like one of the key success elements in our business. Everyone wants to share rather like either like the knowledge or skill or whatever. No, there's no such a thing. One of my main motto, like a place, we share the love, we share the knowledge. So then everyone can help each other. Then we can achieve like unbelievable, challenge or whatever.
Yeah, I think it's very different to back in when I started in financial services 24 years ago.
No training, just handed over like,
nobody wanted to share information. It was like you had to pay for someone to mentor you, and it was really everyone was guarding their knowledge. It was
still a little bit here across other industries. Like, it's still quite like that. People are, probably, stressed, super or tired, exhausted. I don't know. It's not easy. It takes a lot of energy to train someone new. So, but we do different. We have like a very good training. We always updating our training as well. Okay. When we have a new, for example, staff on board, we try to say, hey, how we can do differently, from the last 3 months or whatever, the last, hiring. So what would be different? We're trying to create the perfect word for them. Like, hey, okay, this is how I wish I had before, but constantly improving and ask for feedback. We were always checking on our staff. Hey, how we can improve this process here? Oh, guys, there's not such a stupid idea here whatsoever. You can say anything if you're free to speak and share your idea and provide any feedback. I think that's the secret. They don't feel like shy or embarrassed, like it might be a stupid idea or whatever. No, there's no such a thing in our place. So that things a combination as well. So because they're doing something like they do more than you, like for a couple of months. I think we should improve this process here. It can be like the best thing ever. A major impact in our process. So I'm always there for them as well. Just here for the feedbacks, and ideas.
Letting them feel confident to be able to.
They're really part of It's not like, okay, I'm gonna hear and do nothing. We really ask for feedback actually. How we can improve the process and training everything. I think that's the key. One of the keys as well.
Awesome.
For great improvement in our process.
Just quickly, guys, if you're a busy professional, fed up with traditional super funds and overwhelmed by the setup of your SMSF, we can help. Book in a call with my team using the link in the show notes, and let's build your future on your terms. Now, back to the episode. So I guess when we look back, when we first started and the processes that we had initially, 7 years ago when you started, and what processes, all of those processes that we've improved and changed internally throughout over that period of time. How do you think that's, and that's all been to get a better client experience and a better outcome, for the clients to have a better outcome, a better experience when, through that process. How do you think that has translated all these processes we've changed, implemented and refined and continually changed over that period to what's been the outcome for the clients, do you think? How do you think that's sort of changed and with regards to the experience that the clients have had.
So while we start to mapping out every single process, what I mean every single process, since like setting up printing, for example, we didn't have like a very good printer, let's put it this way. And then I remember I came back to you and said, I think we need a big, more expensive printer. Why? Because it's gonna, speed up the printing process, and also it's gonna staple. So there was one like little change we made. Yeah, we invested. So, and then makes a lot of impact. And also all the way, once the signed docs are back, we need to scan them. So, and then the previous printer couldn't cope because our volume was growing, and then, okay, we need to prepare. When I always call, like, we need to invest in this infrastructure. So that's one of the major things as well. And training as well. So I remember when I started with one of our staff, do you know how to scan, for example, properly? No, I don't. Yes, I do, actually. Show me. And then we didn't have any process, anything. And that was sort of messy. I said, hey, we're going to do it this way. This why? Because we're going to scan. We're not going to waste our time. We're going to staple back. Everything is going to be beautifully organized. This one little things like helps a lot. And also we're trying to understand every single super, because most of clients, they're leaving the existing super and then nobody knows what's going on, type of super account they have. So we start to mapping out every single super, reading every single rollover form and PDS, and trying to anticipate the scenarios. For example, back in the days, remember, I won't say the name of the super. They are asking for any amounts over $50,000. They need extra, bills, like to justify the rollover, which was insane. Anyway, we already knew that, and we were already incorporating in our process as well. That means we already trying to be one step ahead of the game. Hey, and contact the client, say, hey, sorry, I might need your rate, your water bill or anything, because you're super asking for that. Oh, I didn't know that. So beforehand, rather, finding out like, oh, why did not process my rollover? And then find out later on, okay, they rejected for something because we didn't provide enough documents, for example, little things like this as well. Also, in terms of rollover, it's always getting interesting.
Yeah.
To not say anything else, but we know when we're doing this process, we can expect all the excuses from the rollovers, like from the existing super, because it's not their best interest to do this quickly because they are losing you as a member. So it's like is right there. Like they don't really want to really help you to speed up this process. So we need to be smart, be prompt, and then talk to the client and explain this whole process. Yeah, it's going to take a little while. So what we did as well, we started to use Express Post. Yeah. So they find all the documents and send to, like Express Post to the super as well. But we started to scan every single rollover process, like, request. Yeah. Because we come up with, clients, following that up and, hey, what's going on for my super? Why is it not in my SMSF? Why do you guys didn't roll over yet to my SMSF? And then most of the time they were sort of saying, oh, we didn't receive all the paperwork. And then because we have a very good process in place, we actually scan every single rollover. Yeah, it's a little bit of work, yes, but is worth it because we can send back to the super and see the client. Now, actually, if you scroll down a little bit, the pages and the files, you're gonna see everything's been delivered. Also, here's the track number from the post office to justify. And then after 2 days, oopsie daisy, now we got all the paperwork. So things like these, really hold the whole process up. Yeah. You know what I mean? So we're just trying to be,
ahead of the game.
Ahead of the game, yeah.
So all these little things that, we've found out along the way and refined and stuff, I guess it all ties back to the client experience, right? So, so all these little things that we've been able to implement and collect additional information in case this happens. We've already got an additional piece of information. So just so we're not going back to the client and then upsetting the whole client experience.
What we do, like on the day of the setup, we say the is a detail, for example, is very important because we stop everything and then really pay attention on the client's process. Like, for example, spelling, docs, everything. And then one good example for female client, usually they got married 20 years ago. For example, the surname was, the maiden name was Smith, and now is something else. And they never change on the existing super. So it's going to be a mess. So we already know that. We already know that. So we already know this process, and then we already contact the super. Hey, what is the perfect form to change the name, change the ads? So we already do that beforehand. And also most of the time they request like a birth certificate. And then we already know this process, and then we are already preparing the clients. Hey, so I don't want to bother you right now, but we need that because we find out your name doesn't match with your ID. So it's going to be a big process if we don't do it right, or today. Do you mind to send your birth certificate or divorce or whatever? So we put everything together rather than wait for them to refuse or whatever. So we already contact the client. All come across like to provide the best experience to our client. Because how would you feel like, okay, thanks for picking that up. Like, I think it makes sense. Rather after 6 weeks, like, now you're asking me for those documents. So we already know this process and trying to be ahead of the game. Makes a lot of difference.
Every time we've come up, there's been a challenge, whatever it is, there's a new system in place. Come with another challenge, a new system.
We get ready.
Over time, over 7 years, for example, of
it's a long way.
We've implemented all these different processes and systems for each new challenge that's come up. There's a system and a process, and I guess that's
we're always updating our training as well for things like this. For example, like for new stuff is starting today, they already know all this stuff. How you might face these, challenges here and these issues that you need to do. That's how you do it. So, very simple and plain English for everyone can understand. We usually as well we're trying to recording as well, record some videos as well. Hey, how we do this, how we get this from, how we apply for these. Like in a real environment as well. Like to show them like, okay, how would it happen, like how to do.
And I guess there's always new legislative changes as well. Like, you need a director ID or you need, there's all these little pieces of legislation that have sort of popped up along the way that we've added these new.
We've been adjusting adjusting
and I guess
in our process.
That all goes back, I guess, probably to create a better client experience, right?
You just brought out like a very interesting question, like for direct ID. So I think since 1 year ago, 2 years ago, every single member which decide to be a director of company trustee for the SMSF, they must apply for the direct ID. And then I tried myself. I have my own SMSF, and I'm a very techy wise. And then I tried to go through on my Golf and follow the prompts. Was not that easy.
Let's put it this way. It's a clunky process,
It's a clunky process. I don't know. They're trying to do the good things. Like, it's an extra security measure for a client. I get it, but it's clunky. And then I speak for myself. Like, I really struggle a little bit. Imagine, like, the most, clients, and maybe they're busy or professionals as well. The majority of the process, if they have company, they should have done already. By the way, for a new client, they're going to be director of SMSF as a company trustee, and they need to apply that. And then we just how we can do and help the clients have the best experience. And then we figured out like there's a paper base. Yes, it's gonna be cost. It's gonna be a little more process involved, but it's efficient. So we help the client. Okay, here's the paper base. We still need those main IDs because it's the primary ID for that because they require 100 points IDs, for example. And then we do everything for our clients on day one, on the same day. I mean, so I guess before setting up the SMSF and put everything together and send to the client. One big benefit as well, if we have one staff doing the SMSF setup, and then the other staff literally checking before posting it, the docs. So we have an internal quality check to make sure everything's there, dated in with stickers, and also is everything there as well. Make sure all the forms
quality
are correct.
Control. So everything,
every single
SMSF pack that goes out gets double checked, triple checked, before it goes out. And I guess that's when you're talking about documents that legal documents. They need to be right. Then I guess
we're talking about SMSF trust docs, so everything must be, correct.
Yeah.
So we need to make sure. It's rather, that if there's any spelling or whatever, which it rarely happens. But anyway, no one's immune, so we always check. Oh, you're missing one thing here to provide the best experience for our clients. For example, like there's some minutes, for example, is a bunch of paper, which requires a lot of signatures, and we notice, most of clients was missing the final pages.
Yeah.
Now we just changed the position, like we just put in the order, like we changed the order and put out the very first one.
Yeah.
Because it's still fresh, it's still exciting. Because when you go like for 20, let's say not 20, but 10 minutes, signing all the paper docs, like, oh my gosh,
it's a lot.
It's annoying. It's a lot. It
Yeah.
could be overwhelming. So we just, changing the order, like we fixed the problem. I mean, was a lot of like missing signature. We already just fixed this problem, just change the order of the paperwork. Little things like this helps the client as well with stickers, everything done for the client. The only thing they have to really pay attention and stop a little bit to think about it is the bind nomination, binding death nomination.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna nominate someone like must be your dependent, like wife or your son or daughter, because that's the only powerful thing you need to do, and you need to be right, because this one can override your will. So whatever's in your binding nomination, goes to them. So it's gonna override. Usually, it's quicker before it goes to state in the follow the
It's
will.
a funny
stuff,
one, isn't it? Like, because most people think that their will cover off on their assets inside a super, but it doesn't. It's like
it's
your will override your superannuation death nomination overwrites the will.
Yep.
So it's it's an interesting one that people it's a little bit of a misconception almost, isn't it? Like people have the will, I've got a will, but in actual fact doesn't cover off on those SMSF or your superannuation assets.
So we have a recent case like this, unfortunately, and then we find out like the beneficiary. So it was one single director. There was a single member as well.
Yep.
And then because we have all the processes in place, everything's beautiful. Like when you're doing the setup, rollover, investing, everything. But when things go south, or we have these unlikely events in your life, it's how like you need a really good professionals to take care of your SMSF. For instance, we have even talked to this, this beneficiary.
Yeah.
She just mentioned to one, I don't know, who was it? Like, my state or my solicitor will take care, we'll contact you. We didn't receive anything. And by law, like, we are the good guys. We really care about the client. And then we found out, hey, we have the bond nomination here. And then we digged in, and then we found, there's a still super as well, because we always leave some money there for the existing super, because it's always life insurance, built in. So if you don't have any contributions over there, they might lapse after, 16 months. Anyway, long, short story, we contact this beneficiary, and then we send a letter, sorry for,
that was a
big process,
pretty stealth mission that you guys did in terms of getting
it was
a single member fund. He passed away. He had left his death nomination was to his wife.
Yeah, but we didn't know much about
had to try and track her down and get it paid out, and then transfer It was a full mission, and something we didn't have to do, but obviously we went above and beyond, and then contacted the existing super fund that had insurances in place, got that paid out to her. Yeah. So there was a whole bunch
before
of things
contacting
that we
her, like we sent a cover letter, like sorry for loss, everything, and then we contacted the existing super. We got all the claim forms, and the withdrawal form for the death benefit from the existing super was around all combined $100,000 for life cover and $220. Sitting in the balance as well. We got everything that all the forms are already, fill out for her. Please just place your bank account, sign here, and just send a certified copy of the death certificate and your IDs. In 2 weeks, she got the payout from this super. And I'm not talking about yet the SMSF.
Yeah.
Because SMSF, this particular SMSF was investing in a specific private credit, so I was waiting for the redemption, but wasn't that long. in a matter of 1 month around that, we also sent her, hey, you need to be, who's going to be your legal representative, which in this case was her.
Yeah.
So she get all the letter from the Queensland court sent to us. And then, we add her as a, temporary trustee through the bank account for everything. And we pay the death beneficiary as well. So
it's
like
hard
she
to-
was, super happy.
It's hard to do all those things if you're not passionate about what you do, right? Like,
No, because it's very complicated.
yeah. No, it was.
We need to. That's why, like, you need to have a process, a very good process in place. Otherwise, you can imagine you don't have like proper documents, scanned or saved.
Yeah.
That's makes a lot of difference because we know where to go through. Here's the original buy nomination from this particular client, and then that's why we could do everything quickly.
Yeah. No, that was awesome. I guess they're the sort of stories that you don't often hear of. That are sort of behind the scenes stories of things that the team does that that we don't often talk about. But there's been plenty of situations where there's been insurance payouts and all these other additional things that we do behind
I think
the
it gets
scenes.
harder, like situations like this. That's how we see it. Like that's how the real heroes come out. Come out like to really save the day.
Listen,
Yeah, that's it. That's a good point, though. Yeah.
not all heroes.
So not the heroes. Yeah.
So I know that how we differentiate ourselves in the marketplace. I think there's a few different differentials. One of them, I think, is a lot of SMSF providers, that will they have to pay for the the fund up front. So it's an out-of-pocket expense that the client needs to pay for. With Blue Chip, I know we carry that risk. So we set up the fund. Once the client fills out the application form, we actually fund the setup process ourselves. And we fund that all the way through to the very end of the process until the rollovers hit the SMSF. And then at that point is when our fee is charged. It's not an upfront out-of-pocket expense. I know a lot of providers
they don't
actually
do that,
pay that. You've got to pay that. It's an
Upfront,
out-of-pocket expense, and you've got to pay that up front. That's one, I think, one that's surprisingly,
That's a very good point, though, because when I talk to another, like our referrals, like, oh, you guys don't charge up front. Oh, no, because we believe in our process. So if we don't do well in the day one, we don't get paid.
Yeah.
So in our best interest, like to make, this process happen quickly as possible and, get the rollover, request as soon as possible and follow up with the client and also with this super as well. Otherwise, if the rollover don't hit the bank account of SMSF, we cannot claim our setup fee. Yeah. So that's actually big differential for our clients, for example. Yeah.
The other thing I hear a lot of as well, which is you just raised, is that the speed in which we can set the fund up, which is quite different to the experience that we hear from other groups. We've had record time of setting up a fund. I think it was
10 days around that.
I think it was less, 7 days or something.
7 to 10 days, yes.
I know if you put in ChatGPT, if you put in world record SMSF timeframe, it comes up with Blue Chip SMSF services. We have had a record, short amount from filling out application to money in the account. Yeah. I think it was 10 days or 7 days or something.
Around that,
It was crazy, where all the moons aligned and we had a ridiculous record-breaking time, which is not obviously normal, but certainly when it can be done. And I guess when it comes to efficiencies, I guess that sort of shows what can be done with an efficient team and I guess you've been instrumental in building that team and building it to the point of crazy efficiencies.
Yeah,
which is awesome. Jeff, thanks for coming on the show. I know you're going to be doing some other shows probably in 2026. I'm going to be stepping away from the mic and you're going to be stepping up. So
oh my gosh.
So you're going to see a lot more. Be a lot more of you on the podcast, which would be. We might have to get someone here to sort of, I guess, maybe translate, because sometimes you're so passionate.
And it doesn't come out.
Passion comes out and we can't quite, got to tell you to slow down. But no, thanks, mate. Thanks so much for coming on the show. Incredible asset to the business. And
thank you. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's good. Been good having you on. And been good having you as a sidekick, and we're looking forward to the next 7 years and where that takes us. But mate, thanks very much for coming on the show, and we'll see you in 2026.
Thanks a lot, Troy, for having me. Like, thanks you to believing in us. Like, always accepting our new ideas and process, because it doesn't matter if you have the passion or the energy if you don't have like someone to really support you. So you provide that like support, energy as well, and motivate us as well every single day. So it's a combination.
Team effort.
Yeah, team effort. Yeah, I always say that.
Awesome. Mate, thanks again for coming on the show. Really appreciate it. And Jefferson Rossetti,
Thank you, guys.
COO of the Blue Chip Group. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of SMSF Insider. If you got value from this, make sure you subscribe so you never miss the strategies we share to help you take control of your financial future. Find us on socials at Blue Chip SMSF, or book a call with our team to see if we can help you.